Just ahead on Carolina Impact, everyone's talking about the Affordable Health Care Act, and so are we. Stacey Sims shares the story of two area women. And I sit down with Caramount Health's CEO to learn how the federal plan impacts community health systems. Then we head to Gaston County to see how young people are learning how to be healthier through play at Discover U. Jack Brayboy wraps things up for us tonight with some racing. Or is it science? You decide. Don't go anywhere. Carolina Impact starts right now. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Amy Burkett, and this is Carolina Impact, or CI as I like to call it. We're here to tell your stories from across the Carolinas. Now that the federal government shutdown is over, we're turning our focus back to one of the issues that touched off a lot of controversy and confusion: healthcare reform. Tonight, Carolina Impact's Stacey Sims examines how people around town are reacting to the changes expected to come from the Affordable Health Care Act.
Fitness trainer Cindy Harris doesn't have health insurance, and she doesn't want it.
I'm not asked if I want to join. I'm told I'm going to join.
Cindy pays cash for care and has done so almost her entire adult life.
It's more expensive to get health insurance, and I work really hard on my health, so right now I guess I'm better off this way. I mean, I get my checkups. If there's something wrong, I just pay out of pocket.
For the new healthcare system to work, experts say healthier people like Cindy need to buy in to offset costs of those who aren't so healthy.
Hey, Miss Davis, this is Shelley from the Lupus Foundation.
Shelley Reeves has lived with lupus and autoimmune disease for 17 years. A former animal hospital director, she's currently too disabled to work.
If you have a pre-existing condition, most health insurance will not cover you. And if they do, it's astronomical prices. So now, starting in 2014, insurance can't charge you more and they cannot deny you.
A new medicine is giving hope for Shelley and others with lupus, but at a very high price.
It varies a little on pricing, but it's about $35,000 a treatment. And you get it every 4 weeks.
Shelley thinks the new healthcare program will help with her costs, but admits she's a bit confused by the options.
You read online the different things and it sounds like really awesome and everything, but it's just very hard to understand, or once you maybe get a slight understanding, it's hard to get any further.
It's not just individuals who are confused by the Affordable Care Act. It turns out that a lot of employers, the businesses where until now most Americans have gotten their health insurance, are confused about it too. And in some cases, that's causing a bit of a scramble.
You know, I think employers have had their head in the sand, and now there's a little bit of panic going on.
Kathy Graham is the Director of Benefit Services for the Employers Association. She and CEO Kenny Colbert are trying to keep their clients, everyone from mom and pop stores to big corporations, up to speed on the new regulations.
I think there's more concern about the financial part with the mom and pops. You know, these companies that have maybe 15, 18, 20 employees, et cetera, and they offer health insurance now. They are literally scared to death about the cost of their premium renewals.
Even with predicted increases, most people who get their insurance from work will continue on those plans.
And now everyone will be able to find health insurance.
Here's how the first part of the Affordable Care Act will work. The insurance marketplaces are open to nearly everyone, but if you have insurance through your job, Medicare or Medicaid, it's likely you won't need to shop for coverage there. The exchanges are really for people who are uninsured or who buy their own individual policies right now. The marketplace, which gives you access to the exchanges, opened October 1st. Right now, North Carolina has approximately 1.5 million people without health insurance. Around 700,000 are uninsured in South Carolina. Both states voted against a federal expansion of Medicaid, so right now that's not an option for those uninsured who may actually qualify for it. That number's thought to be about a third of the uninsured.
We're just looking for better coverage.
Many people signing up for the exchanges are going to qualify for a federal subsidy, basically a tax credit to help pay for your monthly premiums. Who's qualified? those who make up to 400% of the federal poverty level. That comes out to about $46,000 for one person or $94,000 for a family of 4.
Now that the website is active, the marketplace is open, the next milestone is December 15th. That's the date you'd have to sign up on one of the exchanges to be covered by January 1st. Now, January 1st, 2014, everybody's got to have some type of health insurance, whether you get it through work, through the marketplace, Medicare, Medicaid. There's a penalty if you don't have anything. But there's a 3-month grace period. So the marketplace is going to stay open until March 31st.
My first entree into healthcare was following my father, who was a family physician around rural Tennessee.
Dr. Dan Murray is the CEO and a surgeon with OrthoCarolina. He's optimistic about the Affordable Care Act, but he says it's going to take a long time.
Well, there's a lot of confusion because there's a lot that's still yet to be determined. I mean, even though the law has passed, a lot of the administrative rules haven't even been written yet, and a lot of the groups that were stipulated to be formed by this have not yet been formed. So I think there's a lot still to be worked out.
If some Carolina employers decide to get out of the healthcare business, more people will seek healthcare from the federal exchange. Most experts don't expect that to happen right away.
I personally don't think we're going to see a lot of small employers dropping coverage right now and sending their employees to the exchange because they're so confused they don't know what to do.
Meanwhile, Shelley is hopeful.
I don't have a primary care doctor because I can't afford to pay another doctor. So I'm hoping, my biggest hope is that this new healthcare will make it so that I will be able to have a primary care doctor.
And Cindy is bracing to stand on her own.
I'm going to take care of my body because I don't want to be in the hospital or at the doctor's or at, and getting meds all the time. So I do whatever I can to be healthy every day.
For Carolina Impact, I'm Stacy Sims reporting.
Thanks so much, Stacy. To continue the conversation about the Affordable Care Act, I've got a special guest joining me in the studio right now. It's Doug Luckett. He's the interim CEO of Caromont Health in Gastonia, Gaston County. Doug, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Amy, thanks for inviting me.
This has to be a crazy time to be a hospital CEO as all of these federal guidelines are changing on a daily basis. You either need extra Clairol if you were to dye your hair, or some real relaxing things in your life. Nice music, a little meditation. How do you handle the stress of doing what you do on a daily basis, which is not low stress to begin with, and add in all of these federal changes?
Well, I ride a motorcycle across the great state of North Carolina. It's probably the most beautiful state for riding in the nation. Fly a small airplane, which is kind of more a food processor with a tail number on it, and enjoy a lot of the arts and culture around the Charlotte and Gaston area. So
that's great. Well, how hard is it, though, to lead a health organization right now? And you are a standalone healthcare system. You're not part of a huge conglomerate, yet you're a very solidly sized station.
It's getting tougher and tougher. A lot of it's the unknown. You'll find a lot of innovative and activated people in the healthcare industry, people who want to problem solve, who want to take care of the patients that come before us and take care of their communities. We have a lot of shifting sands recently with the Affordable Care Act, with state-based medical programs like state Medicaid, et cetera. I guess it's the uncertainty so that we can't nail down solutions that cause the most consternation.
There's been a lot of talk nationally that one of the concerns of the Affordable Care Act is that there wouldn't be enough primary care physicians with this influx of people who have had no insurance in the past to all of a sudden get primary care physicians. Is that a concern for you?
It is. We try to be ahead of where the tea leaves are telling us we should be. Physicians, there's competition for them in every state. We want North Carolina to win. We want to at least make sure that we provide the right number for our community. A few things are impacting this. If health insurance exchanges are successful, and if Massachusetts is a bellwether, you'll probably have an initial push on the system for primary care, new office appointments, and things like this. That can create additional demand. Other things that happen are we have the aging of the population. More and more people are approaching Medicare age. I believe they say the 7,000 to 10,000 new Americans every day are accessing Medicare. in retirement age. So that's going to put another demand on the system and here in the Piedmont. Our duty and what we try to do is we try to offer a great platform for physicians to come and join our health system, either by employment, by being an independent and working in our community, and reaching out to what they need where they are.
Is it harder to be that community-based system than if you were part of a larger conglomerate?
It does have its challenges, Amy. It's tough. I mean,
there's no safety net.
There's
no big brother there with an extra influx of cash.
There's none of that, but sometimes it's harder for those systems to acquire hospitals now also. Top-line revenue compression, competition for labor. Just being larger doesn't necessarily you'll be better or that you'll be better positioned. We think we have a good road to be independent for some time and a good value proposition, a better proposition, a value proposition to be independent than as a part of a large system. Things may change in the future, but right now we believe we can hold more services close to home, jobs, and keep costs lower by being in our current chassis.
A lot of people were confused that this Affordable Care Act isn't necessarily free. Well, it isn't free. That there is cost involved, that you have to pay and you're going to get a tax credit at the end. People were able to take advantage, and they still are, of emergency rooms. If someone shows up, indigent care happens in emergency rooms, you can't turn anyone away who shows up in your emergency room, correct?
That's correct.
But it's much more expensive to treat someone in an emergency room than if they were able to get some preventive care at their primary care physician. Is that really the flux that is a way to be able to keep your costs down if we can help the average person keep healthy?
Yes, there's many things we're trying to do as providers. We can't legislate behavior. We don't attempt to do that. We do try to engage people in their own health and talk about venues of care. You're seeing kind of a surge of urgent cares that you see out there, another venue of care that has less cost associated with it for minor incidents that you might have, medical incidents. It is the most expensive, the emergency department is no doubt the most expensive place to receive care in the care continuum, short of critical care or ICU. The emergency department, again, because of the Emergency Medical Treatment Act, and Active Labor Act of 1996, we have to take all comers, regardless of ability to pay, and provide them with a medical screening exam and stabilizing treatment. Without other options, people are more and more using this as a primary care episode, which is not good for any health system. We'd like people to activate their health more proactively and get into wellness programs, take a little bit of personal accountability, and keep the primary care focus on how to manage your health, have the conversation with your physicians. I'm hoping the Affordable Care Act will get some health insurance exchange products and other things to get more people with insurance have access to that kind of preventative care, and that people will actually use it.
What do you want people to know about the Affordable Care Act or about hospitals like yours?
Well, about the Affordable Care Act, if there's an ability to register and enroll in the plans, and if it fits you, please do so. It provides you a whole host of options you wouldn't have normally, from physician appointments to outpatient care, ambulatory services, and things like this. And as a health system, in kind of a tail end of that, the government is reducing our payment drastically in the near future to pay for putting more people on the rolls. If they don't sign up and they're still reducing our payment, it'll be tougher for us as healthcare providers to deliver services to the community.
Doug Luckett, Interim CEO at Caramont Health, thank you so much for your information. So much more to talk about with this. Hopefully we'll see you again real soon.
Thank you, Amy.
Well, this leads us into this week's poll question. There's no right or wrong today. We just want to hear from you. Who do you think benefits more from the Affordable Health Care Act, individuals or the government? You can answer the poll question on our Facebook page at facebook.com/WTVI Charlotte or on Twitter at WTVI #poll question. We'll have a different question each and every week, and at the end of each program, we'll give you the answer. Well, the answer to this week's question is coming up in just a moment. We were talking about domestic violence last week. Right now, did you know your heart beats about 100,000 times a day? That's about 35 million times a year. That's something I learned when our crew visited Gaston County's Discover You, a hands-on opportunity for families to learn how to be healthier while having some fun.
In 2010, Caramont Health Board and senior leadership decided that while we would always be in the business of caring for people with sickness and injury, we wanted to get in the business of helping people enhance their health. Discover You is our attempt to get into the community wellness initiative. This environment here allows us to provide the community with a look into how they can enhance their health in a fun way.
Name's Juan. Who wants to volunteer here for me? You do. How many minutes of exercise will it take to burn up that plate of spaghetti? Glazed donuts contain BHT.
We want our visitors, after they've been here, to realize that they are in control of their health. Nobody else is. It's an individual choice.
Oh, yeah, look, danger.
Discover You consists of 17 innovative, energetic health exhibits. They're fun, they're friendly, and they really engage our visitors in these health exhibits.
All right, so this exhibit is called Snack Grab.
That exhibit helps people connect with the value of a food item. It says, if you don't change anything in your diet, if you, for example, add drinking one soft drink a day for a year, you will gain so much weight. I think it's 22 pounds. But you can read that and kind of discount it in your mind. But at this exhibit, you lift it up so you actually feel the weight that you would add to your frame if you engage in that behavior of just adding one soft drink to your diet every day for a year. But the opposite is true too. If you take just one away from your diet every day, you will lose weight.
If you eat a chocolate bar every day, kids, you could gain 29 pounds.
We came here so the kids can learn more about their health, specifically digestion and food, eating healthy, exercising, doing things that will promote a healthy lifestyle for them. I love that it's interactive.
Okay, so Pierre is riding down the Greenway. Look at you go. You are going, wow, you're fast. Are you getting tired?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right.
The bicycle, it was harder because there was more weight, and the faster I went, the heavier it got.
For us, my concern came out of just our family, just our past family and the health issues that their grandparents have had. And then just knowing too, a healthy diet will help them to live long. And knowing that if they learn to eat healthy now, they won't have to be like me because they've grown up eating healthy foods.
It's extremely important to reach children because they're impressionable, number one. And we know that children who are allowed to be overweight and obese have a much higher risk of being obese their whole life. And if they're obese their whole life, they will in fact develop chronic diseases, and that affects the quality of their life. It's a quality of life issue. It's a financial issue for a society, but it's also a quality of life issue.
Well, if you eat cookies and all of that, you don't actually need it because it has a lot of sugar, and sugar's not good for you.
So it's almost a year that these foods have been sitting in this case. This is true. So that, yeah, it's real food. Can you believe it? Yeah. Look, it looks the same. So how do you think it can sit in this case for a whole year and not change one bit?
Chemicals?
Yeah, I think so.
So if we eat those, and they go in our body, how?
We know that added weight, smoking, being inactive creates the perfect storm for obesity, which is a precursor for heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and joint disease. So it is incumbent upon every individual to do what we can to remain healthy as a population.
Always concerned about their diet. All the foods that are marketed to them are not healthy foods. We typically snack now out of the vegetable bin.
This trajectory we are on does not look good as a society. We're headed in the wrong direction, but the good news is we can change it. It's all within our know-how. We know how to change it, and we can be empowered to change it as individuals. So it doesn't have to be doom and gloom. And that's what Discover You is about. The purpose of Discover You is to help motivate individuals to make the positive changes in their lives that they need to make to live healthy, productive, happy lives.
Well, What a great way to learn and have some fun along the way. Well, we're going to change gears now. According to the Department of Labor, the hottest jobs these days are found in STEM fields. That's science, technology, engineering, and math. These jobs pay on average $53,000 annually, a wage that's 10% higher than jobs with similar educational requirements, which is why teaching STEM is so important in our schools these days, and area teachers are getting pretty creative in doing it. Recently, students at one West Charlotte elementary school learned how to engineer and drive their own robotic race cars, thanks to the 1080 Foundation. Carolina Impact's Jack Brayboy has that story.
Welcome to Druid Hills Academy. Good morning! Let's
go! It's a day when the students at Druid Hills Academy, located in West Charlotte, get to start their engines.
Drag race now to the backstretch.
Thanks to the Art of STEM Festival and the 1080 Racing Challenge, these kids got a chance to get their hands dirty, learning how to engineer robotic race cars from the inside out, then put their skills to the test. Boogity, 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 let's go racing.
We use racing as theater, but racing is not a sport that the kids know very much about. What they do know about is a radio-controlled car, though. When we put something that fun into their hands, we can teach them almost anything. So we've been concentrating on getting them to understand what it can be like to own their own company, not just work for someone. So all of these kids in these events that we put together around the country take on the role of owning their own race teams. And they start just like the race teams here in Charlotte. They own a two-car team. They have to do everything that it takes to make that team work.
1080 is a national foundation that made its way to an underserved student body at Druid Hills. It's no secret that the students here have underperformed when compared to other schools in the area. According to Carolina School Hub, Druid Hills test scores ranked number 290 out of 292 elementary schools and number 122 out of 130 middle schools. That's why this event is more than just something cool for the kids to do. It's about opportunity and a chance to change that trend.
We're getting kids excited about education. They're excited about academics, and they're seeing just how much they can do. They're scholars. We know that if we can get our kids excited about learning, about science, technology, those enrichment activities, like I said, dance programs, we have a dance after-school program, then we can close that achievement gap quicker, and kids having fun in school, wanting to come to school. Additionally, what we're looking at is closing the opportunity gap. Just through programs like this, our kids are going to be able to participate in the Student Racing Challenge. They're getting to interact with students that they normally would not interact with, and they're getting to see that this is important and they can do it. It's about that achievement gap and that opportunity gap. It's so important to close and to close it as quickly as possible.
They didn't have anything like this back in the day when I was in elementary school or even middle school. Can you imagine having a chance to put one of these things together? It'd be like a kid in a candy store.
We taking the wheels off so it can have better grip so it won't slide.
What a sight it was to see the energy in the room, to see their eyes light up, to see them engaged. To these students, exposure to something new is important, but just as important is knowing that someone cares about their future.
To me, it's really great. It means a lot to me because it shows us that someone actually cares about us and that they want us to do the right thing. And it's just a way to get us out of the classroom into a new learning environment to experience new things.
Well, it makes us feel like we want to be somebody, like we want to be successful. They care about us, about our education and our future.
Sixth grader Larice Hubbard showed up dressed to impress today and soaked it all in.
Today I went outside and it was very fun. We got to see the students play and stuff. We was doing experiments with the cars. We seen how they work, how they get engineered. We got inside of them how they tie in with science and how they tie in with engineering. So it was quite fun to see how science and engineering tie into all this stuff.
Most of them have never had the kind of people that we take into the classroom pay attention to them. If you look around at the people in our events that have yellow shirts on, half of them are teachers and half of them are engineers. And they're sitting down working with the kids where the kids are.
You got any rock stars in here?
Rock stars, everybody here is a rock star. Everybody here is a rock star. Every child comes to this school with something to offer. And I say it all the time. It's about finding what motivates them. Don't tell me a child can't learn. They learn things all the time. It's about figuring out how to motivate that child, how to touch that child to get them to do what they need to do academically so that they can shine in all kinds of areas and become anybody they want to be. It's about making sure that they have the choices so they're not choosing something because they don't have a choice. They have choices now here at Druid Hills.
For Carolina Impact, I'm Jack Brayboy.
Thanks so much, Jack. That looks like a pretty exciting way to learn. Well, now back to this week's poll question. Who do you think benefits more from the Affordable Health Care Act? There's no right or wrong answer this week. We're looking for your opinions. Is it individuals or the government? You can answer the poll at our Facebook page, facebook.com WTVI Charlotte, or Twitter at WTVI #poll-question. We'll have a different question each week. And with that, here are the results from last week's poll question. Domestic violence is the leading cause of injury to women aged 15 to 44 in the United States. It was a true or false question, and y'all knew the answer. It was true, and 93% of you got that correct. There are more domestic violence injuries than rapes, muggings, and car accident injuries combined. Well, your opinion is so incredibly important to us. This is your PBS station, and we look forward to telling your stories. So please send us your ideas from across our 13-county region. Please email me at amy.burkett@cpcc.edu, or you can friend me too on Facebook. We look forward to telling your stories. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you back here again next time on Carolina Impact. Good night.